Hey friend, hey, Claudia here from Pinks, Teas, and Things, and I wanted to come in and show you some footage that, full disclosure, it was never intended to be posted on any platform. It was kind of just something that we personally wanted to do, just to be able to kind of like look back on and see the transformations that have occurred in this room. Because what I realized, and for those of you that don't know, let me kind of take a few steps back. I am a small business owner, and currently I'm a home-based business. I'm using a spare bedroom in my home, and one of the things that I was beginning to kind of run into is not having enough space to store equipment and extra inventory. And after brainstorming, lots of research, Pinterest, YouTube, you name it, I feel like I found a system that works best for our space. And so I wanted to be able to just kind of document that journey. This room was, before all of this, before Pinks, Teas, and Things, this was kind of like a little lounge room. So we had a couch and television. On this wall, actually, I had some nice little art pieces up and things of that nature. But at any rate, I just wanted to document it for myself. So keep that in mind when you're viewing the footage, because it's not shot in the traditional widescreen format, because I didn't think it was going anywhere. It was literally just kind of like our own little video log of the changes that have occurred. And so keep that in mind. But I wanted to show it because in this video, you kind of see like the color transition. So we painted, and also in my craft room tour, I talked about these shelves here right behind me, the BOAXEL system from IKEA, which I absolutely love. And here's why I love it. Because I feel like this system can truly be customized to fit any space. And so, no, you don't have to have all of the rows here. If your wall's bigger, you can have more rows. You know, it's truly a customizable piece. And in this video, you kind of get to see what I meant when I was in my craft room tour video, when I said that you purchase the pieces separately. So this is not the only configuration that the BOAXEL system can be, put in. So keep that in mind. Alrighty, so let's get started. Split screen time. So here, what you are witnessing is just the breakdown of the office. So if you notice, the walls are a completely different color. It was more of a tan, and I just felt like I wanted something that's a little bit more muted. We actually ended up doing this color throughout the entire house, which is Repost Gray. I think it's by Sherwin-Williams, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, I felt like it was a really subtle gray. So in this video, you are just watching as we are breaking down the office. Now notice I did still have the IKEA pegboards. I just have rearranged them in this new configuration. But a lot of the things that are in the office I had prior to installing the BOAXEL system and things of that nature. However, you're watching my husband as he's taking out the heat press and all my equipment, and I'm wiping down and dusting right behind him. So after taking all of the items off of the wall, which my pegboards were there initially, this is just us spackling, and of course I'm going behind my husband and trying to dry those pieces, because for some reason we started this project a little bit later in the evening, but it was fun. It was a nice experience. It was a weekend, so oh well. I am not a painter at all. So at this point, the paint had already dried on this wall, and so it was time to reassemble that particular side of the office. And so what you're seeing is we were actually testing out the height. I don't know if you were able to really kind of get this particular perspective, but the tables that I use are from IKEA as well. I believe they're Linman tables, and I'll leave it somewhere here, and I'll probably link them down below. But the really cool thing about it is that once again, you're buying in pieces. The actual tabletop comes in different sizes, and you buy all of the legs individually, but they're adjustable legs. Now, I've seen a lot of people here on YouTube that have used these tables. When I initially purchased them, I had them at the highest that they could go. However, because my heat press actually sits on one of the tables, it was really hard, especially for those items that I have to press with really heavy pressure. It was really hard for me to like actually do that. So at this point, what you're watching is I'm up top pretending as if I'm working while my husband is underneath the table adjusting the height. So that's what you're seeing there. At this moment, I decided, oh, okay, so we're lowering the tables. Why not use the pegboards underneath the BOAXEL system? I just thought it was a nice way. I didn't want to get rid of the pegboards, and so I thought it was a nice way to still kind of keep the pegboards, because they are really functional when it comes to just housing things near my heat press or housing things over in my embroidery area and things of that nature. Even here behind me, as you can see next to my computer, I have my pens, my dry erase markers, pencils, things that I use in this area. And so I didn't want to lose the ability to still use those pegboards. So at that point, as you're noticing, my husband is lining up the boards, because at that point I said, that was the point when we decided we would actually more than likely leave those boards just up above the table. So that's what you're watching here. We're gonna slow down this part of the video because this is when my husband started officially installing the BOAXEL system. So can I just give a really quick shout out to my husband for doing this? I come up with so many ideas, and my favorite line is, I have an idea, and I'm sure his heart just goes, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, back to the video. Notice, I am helping. Okay, and I'm back. So, like I was saying in the previous clip, once those two tracks are actually placed, keep this in mind. When he was placing those tracks, I'm not really sure if this is something that is covered, but I did get a comment where someone asked if the shelves were capable of holding a lot of weight. And my answer is not a very concise answer. However, there's two parts to that. Yes, they do have the ability to hold a lot of weight. However, what do you need to do? Number one, you need to make sure that you're installing them in actual studs, not just drywall, because that's when you get the shelves that will fall if you place too much weight on them. Number two, during the installation, so installing those tracks, my husband actually used drywall screws that were capable of holding, I think it was 75 pounds per screw, and I'll go grab that as well. But once those tracks are installed, the BOAXEL system comes with these little pieces here. And as you can see here, I'm gonna kind of turn it this way. Actually, let me take the plastic off because I do plan on using this as well in my office. However, let me just show you really quickly. I feel like the plastic is kind of glarish, so let's try it this way. But I'm going to show you how it snaps in. So it's fully adjustable. You can make those shelves as tall as you want. But with the system, and here, I'll have it linked below, but it's BOAXEL, and it'll be in the title also. But however, these are the little pieces that snap into the system. And so here, these pieces actually snap into the tracks that you see in the video. You'll see him installing those tracks. These tracks, you'll need 2 per shelf. These tracks actually slide and lock into the system, which is super awesome. That's another thing. Number 2, once you have the tracks installed, on the other end, there are, and I'm hoping you can see this, these little notches. This little notch is what your shelf actually locks into as well. So it's a really sturdy system. However, there's some things that you can do to ensure that your entire system doesn't collapse the minute you start placing heavier items on them. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the drywall screws just because I wanted to show you what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so I had an opportunity to go and grab the drywall anchors that we used, and I'm gonna show them to you here. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't really matter what brand, so don't worry about that. The biggest thing is you want to know what the maximum weight each anchor can actually hold. And so I'm going to show you this. So remember, number one, they were installed in studs. That's for starters. And then number two, in addition to that, we also used these drywall anchors for further reinforcement, because ultimately we knew that we would be placing a lot of heavier pieces of equipment, and the last thing you want is for your equipment to actually fall off of one of these shelves and potentially be damaged or damage something else in the process of falling down. So these are the screws that we used. And as you can see, we used the 79, I thought it was 75, but it's 79 pounds per screw is the rating for these. And so there's two different sizes. Ooh, the lighting. Hello. So hopefully you can see that. But that's what we use for the installation of these shelves. But let's get back to the video. In this clip here, it was another one of those things where I just, once we were done with the office and everything was kind of put, and I'm looking at my computer screen, which is why, you know, I'm staring down. But at any rate, this particular piece of footage is just at the end. We put everything back together, and I wanted to do complete a vision board. And so here is just me and my soon-to-be teenager just making our vision boards and setting our goals for things that we want to accomplish. And so that's why I included this little clip, because it was our very first project that we were just working on together in the office, and I just wanted to include it. So that concludes our video. I don't know what I'm gonna title this, but something to the effect of the beginning stages of remodeling our small craft room. And so if you've enjoyed watching this video, please consider hitting the like button and be sure to subscribe, because there will be more videos to come. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell as well, because it'll tell you each time I post a new video. So until next time, bye friend!